to week 4 of the Futility rankings, where Adam and I rank the 5 worst teams in the NFL. Adam, how you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing great. It's been a long time since the Breakfast Blitz, but it's great to be back and some added excitement. First time ever doing this as a video instead of just audio. Still kind of working out the kinks, but we're having fun with it, and it's a great segment. Glad it's back.
Yeah, Adam in just outside of Denver. I'm outside of Miami, so bringing back our old show, but doing a little different this time. But one thing we loved about the Breakfast Blitz was the Futility rankings, so we're bringing them back, giving the people what they want.
Absolutely, and that's what it's all about. And in this case, giving the people some of what they don't want. Sometimes the truth hurts, but it's fun for us because thankfully my team narrowly missed this list, and your team's undefeated, so it's been fun.
I know, I'm feeling good, but you never know with the Buffalo Bills. So let's go right into our list, and we're going to start and go 5 to 1. So number 5, the Washington Redskins. Adam, obviously you saw the game the other night. So did I. And this Redskins team stinks. They are absolutely terrible. The Bears, who are on the ropes, the offense was brutal coming into this game, and they get punched in the face in the first half by that Bears team. This Redskins team just has nothing going for them, and especially there in Washington with Daniel Snyder. You got to feel bad for the players because you know it's not going to get much better than this.
Yeah, and one guy I really feel bad for is Darius Geis, who really seemed to represent hope for them, but instead he's out with another season-ending injury, and the Redskins are the 30th rushing team in the NFL. They're only averaging 21 points per game. I do think that they've had a pretty tough schedule so far. I think they're bad, but I think there's a reason that there are 4 other teams ahead of them on this absolutely horrible list. Oh, that's our sound. Means time to move on to the next team.
Moving on to the next one, the Pittsburgh Steelers, one team that you would never think would be on this list, but they come in at number 4 this week. This Steelers team, 0-3, obviously without Ben Roethlisberger. The teams they have played are 8-1 so far on the season, but still not much hope there in Pittsburgh, especially with Roethlisberger out. That defense doesn't seem as stout as it usually is. And when you start off 0-3, your season is pretty much done. You need a quick turnaround, but it doesn't look like it's going to be happening in the Steel City this year. So go ahead, Adam.
They're allowing 25 first downs per game. Only the Finns are worse. They're only getting 14.3 first downs per game themselves. Only the Jets and the Finns are doing worse there. They got a 26% conversion rate on third down. That's 29th in the league. And as far as getting yards, they're averaging only 269 yards per game. That's 30th. I mean, we're going into week 4. They only have 808 yards. Futility would be an understatement. It's looking horrible. Hopefully, Rudolph can guide their sleigh to more wins, but it's not looking good right now.
I don't expect them to be on this list for long, but we will see. Moving on to number 3, right in your neck of the woods, the Denver Broncos make the list. My biggest question with this Broncos team, obviously an amazing defense led by Von Miller and Nick Chubb there. But on the other side, I'm sorry, Bradley Chubb, Nick Chubb, I'm thinking of the running back, Bradley Chubb. But on the other side of the football, you have Joe Flacco. You bring him in as the quarterback. What is the direction for this team? What is the plan there? I don't think anybody knows what is going on there or the plan for the future. They have no plan, especially when you have a GM like John Elway to have no plan. There's no
John Elway brings in these quarterbacks hoping that one of them is going to be John Elway. John Elway's yet to find another John Elway. And so here's the problem, man. The Broncos are only averaging 15.3 points per game. Only the Jets and Dolphins, maybe they're going to be on this list, are worse in that category. And that defense, which is supposed to be a lot better than it has been so far, they're getting stops, but this Vic Fangio defense is yet to get a sack, and they're yet to force a turnover. -4 turnover margin so far, tied for 3rd worst in the league. It's got to get better in Mile High. Hope I didn't lose any new friends. Your team sucks.
Absolutely. The Broncos are brutal. So let's move on to number 2, the New York Jets. It's just a typical Jets season, starting off in everything. goes wrong. Of course, Sam Darnold getting mono. And of course, I watched that game 1 where they were up 16-0 in that game against my Buffalo Bills, blew that, and it was all downhill from there. First off, I hate the uniforms. They got the stripes. They look like they look like a junior varsity team because of the jerseys, and they play like a junior varsity team because of it too. It's very, very bad. Just a series of unfortunate events for the Jets. I think they can turn it around, not to make the playoffs or anything, but right now it is brutal. Their third string Falk as the quarterback. Things are not looking great in New Jersey for the Jets.
They've only scored 33 points so far. That's not good. 5 yards per pass attempt, last in the NFL, not good. They've actually lost 81 yards on sacks alone. They've been sacked 13 times. It's the 4th worst in the league. Only 131 passing yards per game. The 5th worst rushing attack. You thought Le'Veon Bell might fix that. Well, they're averaging just under 67 rushing yards a game. You're not wrong, Joe. The Jets suck.
No doubt about it. As for number 1, I think no surprise here. We head to my neck of the woods, the Miami Dolphins. What an absolute mess. But it's a self-inflicted mess. This is exactly what they want. Tanking for Tua. It's going very, very well in that regard.
But you got to look at it.
Yeah, but you got to feel bad for the players who I think at one point are going to ruin it for the Dolphins. They're going to try their best to win a football game. But as of right now, it's clearly not going well. Their only hope for this season is Josh Rosen if he somehow shows some glimmer of hope. But other than that,
I'm going to stop you right there, because guess who has the worst completion percentage in the NFL? At 43%. It's Josh Rosen. You know who's second worst? Ryan Fitzpatrick. All right, it just gets worse from there. You know who has the worst QBR in the league right now? Ryan Fitzpatrick. Who has the second worst? It's Josh Rosen. And so this is a team allowing 44 points per game. That's 13 more points per game than the Giants, who are a not-so-close second in that awful category. And, second to last in yards per game. It's awful. Someone find these guys a saltwater tank, because clearly the gridiron is not their element. They need help.
No doubt about it. Remember 2 years ago when the Minnesota Vikings were in the NFC Championship game and the Super Bowl was in Minnesota? People were worried about, are the Vikings going to play the Super Bowl in their home stadium? Well, guess where the Super Bowl is this year? It's in Miami. We're not going to have that concern this year. Not going to happen. Yeah,
no one is there to save them. So this has been a fun, quick little run around in return to the futility rankings. Any closing thoughts, Joe?
I don't think so. I think we're going to have a little bit of a different rankings next week. I think we're going to see some new teams on this list. I don't know which ones, but we're going to see some new ones. That's my prediction.
Awesome. Well, thanks everyone for joining us, and we'll see you next week.